My name is Tyrell Meadows. I'm from Chesterfield, Virginia.
My name is JT Lauro. I'm from Clearwater, Florida.
I'm Nick McMillan, and I am from Lexington, Kentucky.
My eSports career started maybe 10 years ago. I've been playing racing games my whole life and kind of took it a little more seriously when GT Academy started coming around for Gran Turismo.
My first experience with professional esports would probably be back in 2009. I did a virtual 24 hours of Le Mans on Forza Motorsport. And that was kind of my first experience where I learned, hey, I'm actually good at this. I could probably do this professionally.
For me, kind of the first esports stuff that I did was for GT Academy in 2012, and then I did it again in 2013, which ended up winning. So then I raced professionally in real cars for a bit. So the esports kind of gaming side took a sideline, and then kind of got partnered up with Thrustmaster and started doing all the GT Sport, Gran Turismo FIA.
I usually have a friend who say, hey, JT does pro racing. Oh, you do? And they think I race cars in real life. And then it just turns into more like confusion. You try to explain to them, oh no, I do it esports, I do it virtually, and it's very hard to explain to somebody that, especially nobody who's ever really experienced it firsthand. It's a very hard thing to explain.
And so I'll be like, oh yeah, like I can't go do that, I've got to do like a race tonight. And they're always like, where are you going? I'm like, oh,
exactly.
It's just in my house. They're like, oh, it's here? And like, no, like it's at home, I do it like professionally, like online. It's like sim racing, like video games. They're like, and you just see them kind of like thinking
that,
about the whole process.
That blank look.
They're like, I'm not exactly sure
right.
what you're talking about. So then like once you show them like a photo of like, hey, here's like my rig with the wheel and pedals, they're like, oh, but then they still have no idea.
And then
what
like, you
you're
can get paid
about.
to do this? My favorite virtual track would probably be the Nürburgring GP circuit. It's really technical, high speed. It takes some patience to get around it quickly, but it's overall a very fun track.
In terms of fantasy tracks, probably Deep Forest, which is in Gran Turismo. That one I spent a lot of time on. It's probably a classic favorite with everyone. In real life that you get to drive, and for virtual, would probably be the Nürburgring Nordschleife, definitely. I've ran lots of laps around there.
My favorite track, and I would have to agree with Nick on this, would be the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I just love the technicality of it. I love the track in general, and it's my favorite track to drive.
My favorite car in GT Sport is the Lexus RCF GT3. That's my favorite car because that's the car I won to use the World Championship in Monaco last year, so I like that car.
My favorite car in GT Sport is definitely the WRX STI GT3 car.
My favorite car in GT Sport is the Mercedes-AMG GT3. One, it's a favorite of mine in real life, so driving it in the game and getting to represent Mercedes as part of the World Championship was really fun to do.
My favorite real-life car would probably be the Lancer Evolution. Pretty much any Evo, the Evo 9 particularly. My user ID for just about anything online gaming is Evolution, and that's the reason why.
For me, I would go a little bit, I'm going to go to street car for a favorite car. Race cars are pretty easy. I love the Porsche Carrera GT, which fits with my PSN, which is Gumball CGT. So most people don't know that, but it's the Carrera GT part of it that's my favorite.
Yeah, and my favorite car in real life, I would honestly have to say probably the Honda S2000. I just love that car. It's a great car, it's affordable, and it's a good way to learn how to drive.
Favorite Thrustmaster product would probably be the Sparco P310 competition mod. I love that rim. It's very authentic. The Alcantara feels really nice on it, and paired with the TSXW, it just feels great on just about any sim.
I'd say a favorite of mine is probably the open wheel, which is comes with a TSPC racer. That's probably my favorite. I don't know, it just feels like a real wheel to me. Like it's like a prototype car. Obviously you got the buttons, little dials, and then what's nice, you can put the BT LED into it as well, which integrates really nicely. I definitely have to say the most fun part is probably the TSS handbrake. So you can run the handbrake at the sequential, so sometimes it's real fun to just go run a drift car or something in a Assetto Corsa for a while and pull the e-brake.
Yeah, my personal favorite product with Thrustmaster, I would have to say is the Thrustmaster TGT. I remember the first time I felt that wheel and in GT Sport, and the moment I turned the wheel, I felt the vibration coming from the transducer underneath, and just really made me feel like I could relate to the real driving that that wheel's developed with polyphony, and just see how far that wheel's come and make it accessible to everyone. That was really good of Thrustmaster, and it's one of my personal favorite products. And the BT LED, the newest edition we got, the LED lights on there. I think that's really cool with all the wheelbases. They look really good.